helicopter platforms. Mike's not here to make excuses or play politics. He has a small business mindset with real-world credentials. He's here to say that our values are worth defending, and Kentucky will always stand tall for freedom. Michael Faris.
Good morning, fellow Kentuckians. How are you?
All right.
Very good. James, thanks for the speech. That was fiery. He likes to party. I didn't realize he was that lively, to be honest with you. I'd like to obviously thank Kim for telling me about this event, and of course Corey for reaching out and helping me figure that out as well. I also have to give him props for the good marketing, because I bought like 100 event tickets and then found out later they were for a raffle drawing. So that was pretty good. I found out later the event was actually free. So I moved this thing. Obviously, I'm from Elizabethtown, Hardin County area. Until I get politics figured out, I wrote down some things to read to you. As we know, the U.S. Senate seat that's currently being held has been held for nearly 40 years. And so I'd like to tell a story about a little boy that goes back to the time born when that man was elected. The year is 1986, 5 days before Christmas. A little boy is born in Corden, Indiana. The first 2 months of his life are a mystery. At 2.5 months old, he's left with his mother's boyfriend who vanishes. But God intervenes. He places the boy in Meade County, Kentucky, which then lands him in Hardin County in the loving home of 2 farmers in Sonora, Kentucky. They give him love, structure, guidance, and a place to call home. Then at 3 years old, his biological mother returns. She demands the boy back in the state, lets her have him. What follows is nearly a decade of hell. At 6, he's punished by way of electrocution. At 8, he's suffocated and submerged in scalding hot and cold water. By age 12, after years of abuse, the boy is acting out of desperation. The state threatens to send the boy to a boys' home. That same state that once gave up on him is ready to discard him again. But one night, from a payphone in New Albany, Indiana, he called his old foster mother begging, "Please come get me." And once again, God carves a legal path to return him to his family in Sonora. He's adopted by his former foster parents, and he's finally safe. For 6 years, he works his family's hay and tobacco farm. He's learning what real work is about. At 18, he joins the Air Force in the wake of the 9/11 attacks to defend his nation. He signs a contract with his government. A pledge to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. But his government breaks the promise. They unjustly withhold his pay, many times due to contractual issues on their behalf. At 19, he's forced to file congressional letters again, just to fight for what's rightfully his. At 21, he separates from the military, and he keeps serving as a civilian contractor all over Kentucky, Iraq, and Afghanistan. He rises and he leads men and women in teams of 100 or more in peace and in wartime. He earns respect and name recognition within his industry as one of the best there is. And eventually that boy becomes the founder and president of his own helicopter maintenance company. A company, in fact, that is a platinum sponsor of this event. He's built it from the ground up, a hard work, sacrifice, determination, and grit. Then his government unleashes code against him and his people. His job requires constant air travel, but due to childhood trauma, he cannot wear a mask. He gets a lawful medical exemption and tries to follow his government's unconstitutional mandates, and once again, his government betrays him. The TSA, the CDC, and 5 major airlines all conspiring to deprive him of his constitutional rights, all demanding illegal compliance and eventually placing him on a terrorist watch list. So he fights and sues all of them without legal counsel, and he's currently winning his legal battles. And I'm proud to say that boy now stands before you as a man running to become the next United States Senator from the state of Kentucky. We can no longer be silent. We must fight to remove rogue judges who legislate from the bench and defy the Constitution. We must defend parental rights and ensure school choice for every Kentucky family. We must hold big corporations accountable for their illegal COVID mandates, which were against our civil liberties. We must elevate our small businesses so that they don't just survive, but they prosper. And we must reform the healthcare racket that we currently see today to ensure Kentuckians are not just prosperous, but healthy. I support President Trump's tariffs because we should not be getting ripped off by countries that require our business to survive. I am the first, and until recently the only candidate to sign a pledge on term limits for members of Congress. It is imperative that we keep fresh ideas in what was designed to be a very limited government. In reality, it has actually become a spying campaign and tool for weaponization against the American people. I support locking down our borders, keeping our doors closed until we can get an inventory of the mass amount of illegal immigrants that have entered our country under joint basement. We must send them illegals back home and return to thoroughly vetting who we allow to take part in our American dream. We must also hunt down and hold accountable those individuals which are responsible for targeting our most vulnerable in this nation. If we do not stand in strong defense of our children's future and protection from these deranged individuals, then we are not executing God's will, and He will see to it that our nation is struck down. Folks, as a whole, this is indeed the government our forefathers warned us about and shed much blood and sacrifice to protect us from. My life is proof of that. And just as I fought for my individual rights for nearly 38 years, I will fight for yours with everything I've got. Today I ask you to please join me, stand with me, and let's restore accountability, liberty, and prosperity in this country. Thank you, and may God bless.